react if you're live. If you're live, just react. Okay. If you're joining, please react. You can drop, alright, you can drop your emoji, you can say hi. Let me know if you're joining now or if you're live with us. Let me know. Let me know if you're live with us. Alright, so guys, can we move on? Can we move on? If you're ready, let me see your yes, I'm ready so that we can move on. Let me see yes, sir, we can move on. We can move on. Okay. Okay. Yes, alright. Okay, so very quickly, we are not going to waste much time on this live tonight. We are not going to waste much time. And like I said on the group chat, that I'm going to be sharing with you guys some tips that will help you to actually study well so that you can pass your JAMB examination this year. That's exactly what I'm going to do here. So I want to know if you're hearing me. If you hear what I'm saying, please can you signify with any emoji in the comment section if you're hearing what I'm saying. I want to know if you guys are hearing what I'm saying, if you're following. If you're hearing my voice, please signify with any of your favorite emoji. Signify with any of your favorite emoji. If you're hearing my voice, okay, so let's move on. Okay, tonight I'm going to be talking about some of the things that you can actually do to be able to prepare well for your JAMB examination. Some of the things you can do from now, you can start to do so that you can actually prepare well for your JAMB examination. Okay, so you can take your pen, you can take your book, and so that you can jot down some things. And some of these things I want to share is from my ebook 30 days to JAMB examination. That's where some of these things are coming from. So I just decided to bring it out so that I can help you guys with it. A lot of persons have paid for the ebook, but then that's not why we're here. I just want to help you guys with some of the informations, alright? So we are going to be talking about syllabus audits. We are going to be talking about the first thing, which is syllabus audits. Now, what do I mean by syllabus audits? if you have any idea about the JAMB syllabus, the thing you need to do is to take the JAMB syllabus and then you go through it. You look at some of the topics that are very important, some of the topics that are very important that you cannot do without. Those are some of the topics you look out for when we talk about syllabus audit, all right? So that's the first thing we're going to be talking about. Just make sure you stay with me to the end of this video, because this live stream is going to help you in your JAMB preparation this year. It's going to help you a lot. All right, so a lot of students they waste much time studying the whole JAMB syllabus or the whole textbook. But then if you look at the JAMB syllabus, it will give you a guide. The JAMB syllabus will actually give you a guide on topics that you have to study, things that you need to study. Sorry, someone is commenting, I don't know. So the JAMB syllabus will actually is a kind of direction that JAMB has already given out for the candidates to follow, so that you can make the best, you can get the best out of your studies, your preparation towards the JAMB examination. All right. So when we talk about syllabus audit, is you being able to go through the syllabus and know exactly what JAMB is expecting from you. Okay, that's what you need to know about syllabus audits. So there are some topics that JAMB has put on the syllabus for you to study, and if you are not studying those topics yet, or if you're not following the guide on the syllabus yet, if you're not following the objectives, we have the topics and we have the objectives. I have shared a JAMB syllabus in my group. I don't know if you have the JAMB syllabus already, so you can drop the comments if you have the JAMB syllabus already, because I shared JAMB syllabus on the group that was few weeks back. So if you have the JAMB syllabus already, let me know if you have it. Let me know if you have it, so that we can move on. Let me know if you have it. If you have the JAMB syllabus already, the one I shared on the group, if you have it already, let me know so that we can move on. Okay. If you have the JAMB syllabus already, the one I shared on the platform, the WhatsApp group, please, you can drop, you can react, you can comment, anyone. You can comment, yes, I have the JAMB syllabus. No, I don't have, so that I will know those that are following and those that we need to carry along. All right. Please, are we following? Let me see your comment, guys. Let me see those that are following. Someone is still on the group platform voting yes while we are here live on YouTube. Let me see your comments. If you have the JAMB syllabus already, signify by saying yes, I have the JAMB syllabus. And if you don't have, you can also comment I don't have the JAMB syllabus, so that you can have it after this live stream. All right. Who is commenting, please? All right, so let's move on. I think most of you are not online yet, but then, so syllabus audit is you being able to map out some of the topics. You bring your textbook, you bring the JAMB syllabus for the particular year. JAMB don't like they don't it's not like changing topics every single year, but if you have the syllabus of last year, which is 2025, I think it's still the same thing. Nothing has changed yet. So you're going to take your syllabus with you, the JAMB syllabus. You keep it on the table. You bring all right. Someone just commented. All right. Then you bring your textbook, and when I mean textbook, I mean your JAMB recommended textbook for the particular year. For the like this year now, JAMB will always give out recommended textbook. They don't change their textbook, but then you always check JAMB recommended textbook is very important, because if you're studying with those textbook, I have made a video on that on this channel too, where I talk about the importance of using JAMB recommended textbook and the rest. So if you're studying with JAMB recommended textbook, it's going to be very good for you. It will work perfectly for you, because those textbook will have all the topics listed in the JAMB syllabus. So when you're doing your syllabus audits, you are going to take your textbook and you look at the topics that have been listed in the syllabus. All those topics that JAMB have listed out on the JAMB syllabus, on the syllabus, you are going to mark them in your textbook, okay? So if you see, let's take an example. If you are talking about chemistry, for example, as a subject, and you're trying to map our topic, if you see atomic structure in your JAMB syllabus, and when you look at the textbook and you are not seeing atomic syllabus, sorry, and you're not seeing atomic structure rather, when you look at your JAMB syllabus and you see atomic structure, but then you go to the textbook that you're using to study and you cannot find atomic structure, then that means that textbook is not recommended. All right, any textbook that is recommended must have the topics that have been listed out on the JAMB syllabus, okay? So what am I saying in essence? The textbook that you're using must have the topics listed out on the JAMB syllabus. Let me go again. The textbook that you're using must have the topic listed out by JAMB on the JAMB syllabus. All right, so that's what we call syllabus audit. You're trying to check if the topic you're studying or the topic you're looking for, based on what JAMB has put down in the syllabus, is in the textbook that you're using. If you are not able to find the topic, then that means that textbook is not going to help you much. So you always try your possible best to get the recommended textbook. I know it's just few days to the JAMB examination, but then just try your possible best. All right, so that's what we mean by syllabus audit. I still have a lot to talk about syllabus audit, but I cannot say everything down here, because I'm getting this information from the ebook that I mentioned earlier. The syllabus audit is much, there are a lot of things to talk about. I cannot finish everything about it. So is to summarize everything on syllabus audit before we move over to the next point, is you being able to figure out topics from your JAMB syllabus. You go through your textbook and then you mark those topics, those important topics, all right, so that you can be able to prioritize them by how often they appear. You will notice that some chapters of the textbook are heavy than the other. You know, if you're studying chemistry, let me take an example from chemistry. If you're studying chemistry and you're studying a topic like stoichiometry, you know that stoichiometry is more difficult than atomic structure. I know you can agree with me on that note. Stoichiometry is more difficult than atomic structure, okay? So if you're being able to highlight or mark those topics out, you can give yourself some time, more hours, to study stoichiometry than atomic structure. Okay, so you map out those heavy hitters. What do I mean by heavy hitters? Those topics that are so difficult, all right, to understand, that will take you much time. You map those ones out so that you can actually give time to those ones when you're studying during your study period, so that you can spend 80% on topics that carry um, you can spend 80% on topics that are so difficult for you. You can spend 20% on topics that are very simple and not complex. Something like stoichiometry is more like a complex topic, but then when you talk about atomic structure, it's not that complex. It's not that complex. You can understand atomic structure more easier than stoichiometry, all right? So that is what I mean by syllabus audit. Now we are going to move on to the next point. We are going to move on to the next point, which is the 80-20 rule. Now you're going to identify hot topics. It's just like what I said earlier in the first point. The next one is identifying hot topics. There are hot topics in JAMB, okay? Not all the topics in the syllabus matters, but they are very important. So JAMB gave you syllabus and listed out topics that you need to study. But there are hot topics that if you can be able to master them, if you can be able to master those hot topics, then you definitely pass the JAMB examination with a high score. So these are hot topics. What, how can you be able to identify these hot topics when it comes to identifying hot topics? So you can identify the hot topics by using the past question. Just get past question for like past 5 years. JAMB past question for like past 5 years from 2020 2018 or thereabouts. You can get past question from 2018. You count 2019, 2020 to 2026, or 2020 to 2025. All right, so what do you do with that past question? You are actually scaling through those past questions to take note of some of the topics that have been repeated frequently by JAMB. Mere looking at the past question, you will see, for example, in 2020, a particular topic was set as a kind of question from. Then in 2021, you still come across that particular topic or that kind of question. In 2023 or 2022 rather, you still come across that particular question, but not the same structure. You know, JAMB will always twist their structure of setting question. They cannot set the same structure every single year, but what they will do is that for them to confuse you or convince you, they will have to set the question in a different format, but it's still the same concept. So you have to take note of that. Now, for you to get 80%, out of this guide, this identification of hot topics, you need to pick some topics that comes frequently in the JAMB examination. Something like organic chemistry. You always see organic chemistry in the JAMB examination. Organic chemistry will always come every single year, so it's not a topic you joke about. It's not a topic you joke about. It's like it's one of the important topic that will definitely come in your JAMB chemistry every single year. It is one of the important topics, so take note of that. That it is like a golden rule. You're studying 80% of the exam questions from only 20% of topics. You're studying 80% of the whole JAMB syllabus out of 20% of topics. Because if those 20% of topics are the most important topics that will always bring a lot of questions in your JAMB examination, then studying them is worth doing, okay? All right, guys, so let me see if you're following. Let me see if you're following the comment section. Just drop yes, I'm following. Drop I'm following. Let me see if you're following the comment section so that we can move on. We have just few minutes to spend here, then we can end the live stream tonight. Let me see if you're following. Drop I am following so that we can move on. Drop I am following so that we can move on. Are we following? Please, if you're following, drop I am following so that we can move on. Someone is saying that he or she is not able to send message on the live stream. That means you've not subscribed to the channel. If you cannot send message on the live stream, that means you've not subscribed to the YouTube channel. So all you need to do is to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Okay, subscribe to the YouTube channel, please, so that you can be able to send messages. You can be able to comment and do other things. If you've not subscribed to this channel, that you cannot comment. That's it. Can we move on? Can we move on? Can we move on? So, highlighting the hot topics that are very important, okay? Highlighting the hot topics out of the many topics that JAMB gives to you, they are very important. You cannot do without that. Studying without highlighting hot topics is not going to help you. So make sure you highlight hot topics. Make sure you highlight hot topics that will help you to score very high. You know, when you check the JAMB syllabus, JAMB will definitely give you a list of topics. JAMB will give you a list of topics. But if you cannot be able to highlight those ones that will bring much question in the JAMB examination, then you might not be able to score that your desired score. Like I said earlier, topic like organic chemistry, you cannot do without that. It must surely come. It must surely come. Topic like organic chemistry, it must surely come. Topic like stoichiometry, it must surely come. Topic like stoichiometry must surely come. So do well to highlight those hot topics. I've listed out all these things in my ebook, and it's very important. That's why I decided to bring them out. All right. Yeah, I don't know what someone is commenting on this video. I think the person is commenting what? I don't know what the person is commenting. I don't just know. And this person is bringing distraction. Okay, this person is bringing distraction. All right, let's not follow what the person is commenting. Let's just concentrate on what we have. Let's just concentrate on what we have tonight. All right. Now let me go through this point again so that we can move on to the last point for tonight. I said the first thing you need to do, mapping out the hot topics. For example, in chemistry we have stoichiometry, we have organic chemistry. So instead of you to spend 4 days on topics that might bring just 2 questions, why not spend those 4 days on these topics that will bring massive question in your JAMB examination? So instead of you to spend 4 days or much time on topics, and I'm not saying that you should not study other topics. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying here is for you to study those topics that will bring in much question. For example, there are some topics that will bring 40 questions, 4 or 5 questions out of the 40 questions. You know, for physics or chemistry, you will have 40 questions to answer, right? So if you're studying a particular topic that will bring in like 5 questions, just imagine how much you've covered. If you're studying a topic that will definitely bring in 5 or up to 6, 7 questions, imagine how much you've covered. So if you're studying something like stoichiometry, definitely you will see 3, you see 4, you see 5 or 6 questions from there. If you're studying something like organic chemistry, you will see 5, 4 or 6 questions from there too. So just take note of this point because it is very important. If you are just studying randomly, if you are just studying all the topics without focusing your attention on those topics that really matters when it comes to JAMB examination, then you will lose. So what have I said in this point? Take note of the hot topics. Those hot topics will bring you much mark because if you're able to study them rightly and master them very well, if you're able to master 10 hot topics out of the list of topics in the JAMB syllabus, if you're able to master 10 hot topics, then I assure you that you will blast your JAMB examination this year. Someone is saying, tomorrow I'm having mathematics. Please tell me what to do. Where are you having your mathematics? Is it JAMB mock examination or what? Where are you having your mathematics, please? Is it the JAMB mock examination or what? By the way, if you're having your JAMB your mathematics, I have mathematics topics in the JAMB syllabus already. So if you actually need that after the live, I can send it through to you. Okay, so let's move on with this. So that's all I can say about the hot topics. That's all what I can say about the hot topics. We have topics that are very important, topics that if you study them very well, you can actually pass your JAMB examination. I know you cannot study all the topics, and even though you study all the topics, there are still some parts that you cannot get to. But if you master the hot topics, those important topics that JAMB will always set their questions from every year, then it will help you a lot. And one way of doing that is to go through past questions, like 5 years previous past questions, so that you can see some of the topics that JAMB definitely repeats frequently. So that you can see some of the topics that JAMB repeats frequently, and from there you can be able to identify those hot topics so that you can give more attention on them. Okay, you can spend much time on them, give attention and focus on those high demanding topic. All right, let's move on to the next point. All right, the next point is baseline mock examination. Baseline mock examination. So this is like taking mock tests every single day after your study section, or twice a week. You can just set that for yourself. You can take most you can take mock examination. You can take mock examination every single week after your studies. So let's say you study chemistry and physics this today. Let's say you study chemistry, tomorrow you study physics. So you always take mock tests on what you studied, and you can do that by using JAMB CBT app or other apps that is highly recommended. There are many apps that will help you on that. We have UTME Test Driller, we have Pre50 app, and a lot of them, so on and so forth. So after studying, how do you test your memory? That's what I'm trying to point out here. After studying a particular topic or a particular subject, how do you test your memory? You test your memory by attending those past questions, those app. You go through the apps, and then you pick out the subject that you want to practice on. You set a timer, because you cannot just study without, or you cannot just attend those mock tests without setting a timer. It is very important. It is very important that you set a timer when you are testing yourself. Okay? It is very important. So sorry guys. You always make sure that you set a timer by your side. Let's say you want to carry out the test for like 1 hour or 40 minutes, depending on how long you can be able to concentrate. You set a timer that you want to spend just 30 minutes on 50 questions. You want to spend just 30 minutes on 40 questions. And now that will help you to build your speed and your accuracy. When you're testing yourself frequently, you're taking mock tests after your studies, after your study section, or after your preparation each week. Let's say you're taking a mock test every Saturday. You take the mock test every Saturday or twice a week, Friday, Saturday, or Saturday and Sunday. Now, having the timer, you set the timer that I want to spend just 20 minutes on 30 questions, or 40 minutes on 50 or 60 questions. Mind you, you have 40 questions in your JAMB examination for chemistry, for physics, for biology, and other subjects. But for English, it's going to be 60 questions. So if you're studying with the timer, it will actually build your speed and accuracy. And if you've been testing yourself frequently, it will build that speed and accuracy on the day of your examination. All right, so it's not about you spending much time on one single question. If you're spending up to 1 minute on one single question, then you cannot catch up with the time. If you're spending 1 full minute on one particular question,